of course, reading a story. The story reads, in a small town, a girl found an old mirror that revealed hidden truths. Each glance showed her fears and dreams. One day, she looked in and saw herself, confidence, and freedom. Inspired, she stepped away from the mirror, ready to embrace her true self, and chase her dreams. Which means this world, so long you are willing to chase and find the truth, you will also be faced with realities of course, your fears. But you must be strong enough in order to pursue those truths and those realities before you can be able to attain your goals. Of course, as I have said earlier, everyone here, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, honorable people that are present here, colleagues, friends, please, we are saying welcome to Banjul, and of course, the first debate that we have organized. And we expect ourselves to learn a lot from this debate because it will be focusing on how to pursue ideas so as we continue to thrive in order to be able to attain or get to the truth. Truth is very much important because it guides, of course, cognitive, I can say, plans or policies or programs that is going to help emancipate our communities from the issues and problems that will be or that we are being challenged with. But I will not also be able to go through this debate without, of course, acknowledging the founding or how debate itself was founded. And the founding of debate as a formal practice can be traced back into ancient civilizations, including Europe, Africa, Asian countries, and different parts of the world. Of course, this was founded by different civilizations. But due to evolutions of societal norms and values, sometimes it's hard to establish exactly where some of these things were being found. But of course, with ancient civilization, the earliest records of structured arguments appears in ancient Greece, particularly in works of philosophers such as Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, who are great philosophers. These thinkers emphasize in the importance of rhetoric and dialectic as tools for exploring truth and persuading others. The formal practice of debate evolved significantly during the Roman Empire, where it became an essential component of education, especially in rhetoric. The Romans include these Romans who actually pioneers and evolved or brought about the evolution of debate include Cyrus, expanding the Greeks' ideas and understandings and the art of persuasions and in politics and, of course, legal context. That is, arguments in order to break through ideas, opinions that will be established, and how we can be able to bring out truth while persuading others to keep on establishing whatever ideas and opinions they have based on facts and realities. And in the Middle Ages, debate was often conducted in universities, focusing on theological and philosophical issues. This practice continued to develop through the Renaissance and into the Enlightenment, during which exchange of ideas became central and scientific and political discourses. Overall, the evolutions of debate reflects the broader development of critical thinking, public discourse, and democratic principles throughout history. Today, we are here to emulate these great normative approaches to pursuing ideas and establishing truth. To my audience, and of course, spectators in this evening, you remain the ultimate judges of this debate. For we are driven by a shared desire to explore the ideas and seeking, of course, truth, as I have mentioned from the beginning. So I believe, of course, we are just going to proceed directly into, of course, the principles that will guide this particular debate. As we look into the phases that this debate will be entailed, it will be in 4 phases. The first phase will be 15 minutes will be allocated for each of the debaters, whereby they will be establishing their points and, of course, their arguments. And after that introduction, we will allocate 5 minutes for each of the debaters for rebuttal. That is after their introductions and establishment of points of arguments. Now, after the rebuttal, then we will have the next phase, which is going to be question and answers. Question and answer. In each question, each of the debaters will be allocated with 3 minutes maximum to make sure that your entire answer fits in that particular 3 minutes. And finally, the final phase will be a closing statement, will be issued or given to each of the debaters in 5 minutes, whereby they will be concluding their points and their arguments within these 5 minutes. And then, of course, we ask the audience who end up convincing them. Because as I said, this debate, the judges are you, the audience, and of course, our spectators. So the rules that will guide this, of course, debate, looking at the audience that are here with us, we have almost 4 rules to help us. First, audience are allowed to clap, but we are not allowed to boo. Booing is not allowed, shouting is not allowed. But you can clap based on the points that you feel convinced you. You can also ask questions through me, the moderator, by writing your questions on a piece of paper and passing it to me, because I have a co-moderator within you. If you want to send or share anything, or you want to ask any question, of course, we will provide a paper and a pen so that you can write your question, and then you hand it to me, then I can be able to ask it to our debaters. And of course, for the debaters, we are going to be having these rules. Anything that have to deal with personal, political, ethnic, religious is not accepted to be mentioned in this debate. Anything that have to do with political, personal, religious, or ethnicity is not allowed to be mentioned during this session. And the other point, or the second law or principle or rules that is going to guide us is none of the speakers, or out of the 2 speakers, none of them will be speaking unless and until you have been given the chance by the moderator, myself. If I don't give you the authority, you are not supposed to speak. And the other principle is false claim as well. False claims, especially in things that is going to relate with the Local Government Act. I am here with the Local Government Act. We are going to bring it down and make sure that we clarify, because that has to deal with the law that is governing the society of Banjul. So we will not allow any misquotation, misrepresentation of the act that is, of course, guiding the society and, of course, the council that is governing the affairs of Banjul. So the other rule is you can only respond within the time that is provided. If we say 3 minutes, you cannot exceed 3 minutes. If you continue speaking at the end of the 3 minutes, we are going to stop you and then move to the next question or next path. And we will want, of course, the debaters to agree or to accept before we proceed. Do we all accept? Yeah. Honorable Makalo? I accept. Honorable Krubali? Yes. To remind you, the 2 debaters that we have today is, of course, Honorable Abdullah Krubali, who is the Youth Councillor of Banjul, serving in Banjul City Council in the capacity of being the Youth Council. And Honorable Makalo, in my right side, of course, he is the Vice Chair of Gambia Democratic Congress, Vice Chair, Regional Vice Chair. So indeed, please do endeavor to enjoy or follow this debate with us. And of course, the interesting topic that everyone is waiting for is highlighting on the issues in relation to what? Honorable Makalo claimed the serving youth councillor of Banjul City Council has fallen short of his responsibilities as per the Local Government Act. So now he is for the motion, and Honorable Krubali is against the motion. In debating culture, of course, the topic of argument, if it actually came from against the motion, we of course give the priority for the against the motion in order to establish his points. Then the one whom these particular assertions have been established against is given the opportunity to make clarification and of course establish his or her points. So we are going by that normal procedure. So Honorable Makalo, you are given 15 minutes in order to establish your points of argument that the current serving youth councillor is or have fallen short of his responsibilities as per the Local Government Act in 15 minutes. Your time starts now.
Thank you so much, viewers. First of all, I'm the GDC Head of Logistics. I'm Honorable Makalo. I'm the Vice Chairman of GDC Banjul. And then I say good afternoon to Honorable. Okay. Honorable Kulibali, I use the mic.
Your voice.
Okay.
They say I want your voice today.
Sorry.
You can raise your voice.
Okay. My first point is how the council is dispatching its information to reach its people. Because according to the information I got, is the youth council is nominated as a youth council. So all the youth of Banjul are under his authority. So that means the need or the problem of the youth should reach to him and him to pass it to the council. My second point is how does he coordinate the activity of the youth wing? How the message reach to his people under the ground? What are the strategy that he put in place? Because I myself, I never get any information about any activity of the youth in Banjul. And then I'm living in Banjul. The third point is I have get some information concerning him. The people are complaining that it don't reach to them because they don't even know where that is the council. And then with the position that is handled, it's normal for him to go to his people to make them to know that he's the one handling that position. I will stop there for now.
Thank you. I believe with great bravery that Honorable Makalo established his points of argument within 2 minutes. That's 1 minute, 59 seconds. I believe our viewers are about to be presented to one of the most intriguing debates that you will ever see. Of course, given 15 minutes to establish your first points of argument, you only take, of course, 2 minutes to establish your points. I only hope this is going to guide you throughout this particular argument. Honorable Kurubali, as I have stated earlier, this is not the time for rebuttal, but you are also going to establish your points of argument. In 15 minutes, establish your points of argument, then we move to the rebuttal where you can be able to clarify, maybe if need be, on issues or arguments that, of course, Honorable Makalo have already raised against you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. I will first of all want to observe the presence of my two honorable members, the member for Banjul North and the member for Banjul Central, that who happens to be my colleagues as well, and also the youth chair of Banjul City Council, the youths of Banjul, and one of our key members who is Basiruje also is behind there, and our legal luminary who is around, who is also a sister, and my fellow debater, who happens to be the honorable member for GDC. I think he said the vice chair for the Banjul branch, right? Okay, thank you. You are all welcome to this debate today. First and foremost, I would want to establish for the understanding of the audience to know the role of the youth council as a representative of the young people. The role of the youth councillor, I will state, is to ensure that the voices and the needs of young people programs, ultimately helping to create a more inclusive, responsive, and youth-led friendly city. And in my opinion, I think this is my role as a youth councillor. And I know I have done a great work in achieving some of these things. In terms of policy, I played my part. I've represented the voices of the young people at the city council. Some of you may know, and some of you may not. Okay, looking at policy, I have contributed to the development of youth-oriented policies within the council that were absent in the councils during our time when we were part of the youth committee. So since I became the youth councillor, I know these issues were problems at the council. There were no youth-oriented policies within the council, and I've made sure that there were youth policies, youth-friendly policies. That is to ensure that youth are having what they deserve to have from council. You understand? If you look at some of the things, some of the examples I can cite is I have created this space for more internship for young people. Internship is established at the city council, and as we speak, we have realized a lot of interns at the Banjul City Council level, and even some of them are now staffs of Banjul City Council. I can take this as a sample, who happens to be a full staff now, the senior procurement officer. He came to city council through my intervention. I make sure that they establish that, because before you have internship at the country, it becomes a problem. Each time you want to come as an intern, you are rejected. But I said I have to intervene because young people need the experience. Because when you are graduated from school, you go to apply for work. All you are asked for is for experience. Right now we have other 2 interns at the city council that is happening around. Okay, and also council's activities. Council, there are a lot of activities that council used to do. They don't even involve the young people. But since I became the youth councillor, there were a lot of activities that are involving directly the young people. I can take sample with the COVID-19. During the COVID-19 response, I spoke to the mayor directly. I told her that this has to be given to the young people to take up the challenge. It's where Dr. Banjul was brought in and BYC. They were coordinating the whole program. And I think the members of DOC are here, and even the chairperson of the youth committee, and even that which leads to the incorporation of WAPSA and Doc Banjul to take part in the EU project, because the EU project, the honorable member is here, he was part of council, he knows the role we play to make sure that the young people, the interests of young people reflect in the EU project, Okay, another part is community engagement. And whosoever know me, I am a community worker. I have been working in the community for so long. Most of our works are involuntary that we do at the community level. So at the community level, I have collaborated with other organizations and networks, both locally and internationally, in organizing events, workshops, activities that have positively engaged the youth in communities and encourage their involvement in civic matters. You understand? So I have coordinated a lot of workshops. I think most of you can be a witness in that we have a lot of forums that I coordinate directly, and I involve the young people directly. I give them even ownership. I give them responsibility in making sure that they coordinate this program. You understand? And have the little that they are getting from that. I think this is part of my responsibilities as a youth councillor. Community engagement. Another thing is advocacy. I have advocated for specific issues that affect youth, such as education and sustainability spaces and platforms. Example, the Youth for Excellence. It was part of our advocacy, and that was prior becoming the youth councillor. That was when we were part of the youth committee, and the former youth chair is here. He can also be a witness. The Honorable Ba was the then youth chair, We were in this together through LIBA. We lobbied for this, and it was accepted by LIBA, and it established it. But unfortunately, it could not go through because of there was no space. The space that was allocated, they say it was small, and it was later pushed to the beach side where the abattoir is now. And the NIA say, no, they cannot. We cannot have it there. And it is later moved to Kampama, where unfortunately LIBA could not build it. It happens to be in the time of Mayor Rahimalik Low. And for your information, yesterday, a professional transfer of the place was done, handed over, and we received, I called the youth chair to come to be part of it, because they are doing the transfer, they were doing the handing over to the council, because there are some works, the furniture, the furnishing, and all the other petty works that needs to be done by council has to be finished before it is handed over to the youth committee. And that also we are working tirelessly to making sure that the space, the entire management of the space is handed over to the young people. And I think the youth chair know about that. When it comes to, sorry, 1 minute. When it comes to representation, I have effectively represented the voices and concerns of young people in meetings, discussions, and other forums where decisions are made, more particularly at the level of the council, looking at the council's budget for youth and sports. It used to be at a $250,000, around 200,000, 250,000. And I have people who are here who can really attest to this. And I have managed to move it to 1 million plus. You understand? In fact, that leads to us having the last knock of beyond 1 million, almost $1.5 million. And it was directly handed over to the young people, that which has never happened before in the history of the council. They used to buy all the materials, all that we need is only, even the transport. At some point, they will ask us to go and look for transportation, and they will come pay the drivers at the council level. And I have witnesses who are here, and that is never the case now. Since I came, I make sure that the young people are handed over this. I have encouraged and facilitated workshops and initiatives that help young people develop important skills like public speaking, leadership, critical thinking, and teamwork. The Kingdom of Speakers, I think the moderator himself is one of the heads of this Kingdom of Speakers. We took part in most of their activities they do. If I am aware, I do my quota, and I make sure that whatever they're supposed to have from council, and they get it. And the BYC, the Banjul committee, all the events that they organize, if it comes to me, whatever they need, support they need from council, I make sure that they get these things. You understand? So if we looking at some of the projects right now, most of the projects are youth oriented. And all of these projects I have my say in it. I make sure that young people's interests are reflected, and I make sure that most of the representation there are young people. And most of these who are heading is in fact the young people within the council. Basiruja is one of the coordinators of most of this project. And looking at the Bloomberg right now, which is coordinated by Falu, is also a young person. And these are young people who are working with me to making sure that some of these things are in place and they are representing the interests of the young people. You understand? So you look at program development. I have been involved in creation of new programs and initiatives that address specific needs and gaps in the community, such as Ward Development Committee subventions. Because since we came to council, we find out that there were no Ward Development Committees, subvention that is given. It is there in the budget, but it has never been given. It was me pushing, making sure that these people has to have these things in their office. They even need to have offices. And these offices need to be subvented for the management, day-to-day management of the offices. You understand? So these are issues that is established, though it is yet to happen. But we are hoping that by 2025, all of these things are going to be in place. And these are all issues that we know that young people are within the communities. And if these offices are established within the communities, are the same young people that are going to work in those offices. So in short, I can say these are some of the things that I think I have played, and these are critical roles. I may not exhaustively do everything, but since I came into office, and I make sure this thing happen. And the time I came into office, then the BYC were having an office, but it was an empty office. They don't have internet, they don't have furniture, they don't have materials to work with. Since I came, I make sure that all of these things are in place. And these are not just mere, how to call, things that I'm saying. These are evidences that I can show, and there are people within the four corners of this building that can attest to what I am saying. that I am not just saying for the sake of talking. These are obvious things that are really happening, and it has happened. So I think this is what I have for now until we have other further concerns or any other concerns to be addressed. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Honorable Abdullahi Kurubali, the Youth Councillor of Banjul City Council. And of course, while you continue to follow.
If it is not, if my 15 minutes not over, I want to speak about the challenges, for few of the challenges that
I think I have already taken the mic, so we are just proceeding. Thank you so very much, Honorable Kurubali. And of course, with the points that you've already established in this debate, and of course, the audience, as I have said from the beginning, they are the judges. And of course, I cannot also proceed without observing protocols. And of course, acknowledging the presence of our Honorable Member of Parliament for Banjul Central and Banjul North. I hear that is Honorable Mamadou Lamin Biraim Bah, and of course, Honorable Abdullah Njai, who are members of Parliament for Banjul Central and Banjul North. And indeed, we really appreciate your presence here. This shows, of course, your desire and as well your commitment towards supporting youth and youthful activities. We really appreciate your presence here. And of course, my colleague, my brother, and my friend, Basiru Jai, please, we acknowledge your presence and indeed appreciate your presence here. And thank you so much for having our lawyer as well with us, please. We really appreciate your presence and all of the people who have left their endeavors and activities to join us. Please, we appreciate you being here. I have a student that I have to mention, or else I will be in trouble. Of course, Seni Dong, please, we appreciate your presence here. And of course, this is a fascinating debate. I know you've debated at so many occasions with even some of the debaters here, but also acknowledging the presence and the efforts that we have received today from the media. Please, KORA TV, and of course, Jungle TV, we really appreciate, of course, your presence here. And usually the media has been appreciated at the end of the entire program, but I want to break that protocol by appreciating at the mid of the program. Please, we really appreciate your presence because we did not write to any of them. They only saw the flyer today. And of course, they called directly, reaching out to inform us that they will be here and they will be covering this activity live. And Banjul, I can say, as a city, have appreciated your effort. Thank you so very much for being here. If I am to remind you, of course, this debate this evening is anchored on 4 particular areas. That is representation, communication, impact, and accountability. The reason why we established these 4 points is to make sure that this debate is anchored on merits of official duties and responsibilities. It has nothing to do with political endeavors, ethnic, or anything that have to deal with outside the responsibility of being a youth councillor. And I believe with the first presentations that we have observed here, all of us have witnessed that none of them have got into anything that have to deal with personal, as we have stated. So we proceed. The second phase of this particular debate will be the rebuttal. And of course, I am having this argument in my mind. Who am I going to start with? But all right, let's just start with Honorable Kurubali. Of course, you had the argument of Honorable Makalo from the beginning, questioning, of course, your points and, of course, your responsibilities that have to deal with communication, fundamentally. Areas of what? Engagement, community engagement. How are you going to clarify some of those arguments in 5 minutes?
First of all, he's talked about communication. I think my line of communication is through the youth chair. That happens to be Aisatu, and before Aisatu it used to be Isaha. So these are the people that I communicate with. If there is any concern with regards to youth at the council level, and with regards to my role and responsibility on behalf of the youth, my contact person is through the chairperson that I always contact with if there is any issue that has to do with the young people. And before him, it used to be Isa, and this has been happening. Maybe there are certain things that come, because always there are emergencies that happen, and I always inform them aftermath of the event or the activity. But prior to it, if I know it prior to that, I used to inform them. No matter how short it is, I used to tell them that this is happening on a so short time. If you can be there, you try to be there. If you cannot be there, you try and inform or assign one of your members to come. And this has been happening. And if you want to know anything, I have a Facebook page as a young person. And the last time I even asked him, are you even following on Facebook? He said no. I say all the event that I am doing at my personal level as a youth councillor, I used to post them on my Facebook page. So if I am to inform the young people, it's for further as to what I am doing. Probably not in that, maybe I will need some improvement on that, because probably we are not very much active on some of these social media, these things. But all the activities that events and activities that I attend, I used to post them on my Facebook. If anything that concerns the youth, I contact the youth chair to let the young people know that this is what is happening. So another thing he said was about the young people not knowing about me. So the first time I came into office, we had a familiarization tour. I think you yourself can attest to that. Then it was Isaha. We went round throughout Banjul. And even before I become the youth chair, this used to happen. Each committee that comes on board, we used to go on a familiarization tour to make them understand that this is the youth councillor and this is the new executive members of the youth committee. And that happens. Probably it has not happened for the longest, but we've been doing it on several occasions. So this is what I have.
Honorable Makalo, of course, you had what Honorable Abdullah Krubali have already stated, and he have highlighted that most of your arguments did not hold water. What will you say?
Thank you so much. Okay. Okay. Honorable Kulibali stated that when it comes in terms of information, there is Aisha too, who is the chairperson. But that being nominated, Aisha too was not nominated. It is his responsibility. You have to make sure that his information given to Aisha reach to the grassroots. That is his responsibility. So if that cannot reach to his people, he will be blamed, not Aisha. Because I went on the ground to do my research. And if he deny it, I can give him the evidence where I'm sitting. He is elected to serve the people. You have to use people to serve the people. But him is the one that should go to his people because the people expect something from him. Okay. Another point he said that there are 4 people who can testify that he did a great job. For me, honestly, I'm very disappointed when I heard that statement. If you are nominated to serve your people and you